Welcome to Boulder Rotary Club, whom a wise man characterized some 8 to 10 years ago as the best place to be on a Friday afternoon in Boulder, Colorado. Did I get it right, Michael Weatherwax? Thank you. Tom Chesney, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes, please join me. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now if you'll join me in the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, and do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And you may sit down now unless you are a visiting Rotarian or have a guest, if you would remain standing.
There we go. So anyhow, I have a number of guests here. To my left here is Larry Van Spreel, a retired pastor, chaplain, and Marine veteran. His wife, Tam, who is very active in the University Women's Club. My sister-in-law, retired from years of preschool, earned retirement, I can tell you, Susan Medley. My wife, Carol, the Reverend Carol Simpson, and my brother-in-law, Joel Medley, all here to make sure I wasn't alone in case you guys didn't want to come.
My guest is Jeff Peacock, who's visiting here for his first time. He tells me he's spoken at Rotary clubs a number of times, as he was posted in various countries with the Foreign Service when he was with the State Department. He's been a Boulder resident for 12 years and has heard good things about our club, and he's taken a little look. Please welcome him.
And I'm very happy to introduce Joseph Ayan from Denver by way of Bar Al Ghazal, South Sudan. And he's about to tell me about an organization that he's a part of organizing help for a country that, of course, needs it desperately, South Sudan.
It always seems strange to me to have to look at the camera with everybody behind me, but anyway, I'm going to do that. Follow directions. I'm very pleased to have one of my colleagues and partners from Kotke and Brant's, Jocelyn Canoff, with me today. She is the new generation, represents the new generation in our law office, and it's really hopeful and encouraging because she's so much smarter than I am. So welcome, Jocelyn.
It seems strange to be introducing Boulder Rotary's First Lady, but Shelley Sullivan is here to make sure that John really is in charge of the Boulder Rotary meetings.
Hi, may I introduce Stu and Jill Drury, and they are both retired federal employees who have specialized in national and international securities. And most recently, when they were, they've shown their Rotarian spirit. When they were on a trip to Peru, they noticed that there are so many things that people who are traveling could bring with them to be able to offer assistance and help while they're there. So they have now created a website with an association with CU, and it's called DOMAD, which means Donations Make a Difference. So it's a really great organization, and if you want to hear more about it, please come meet them.
Thank you, Tom. My guest today is Leanne Marshall. Leanne is on the sales team with Husky Creative, a sign and creative company. And Leanne, this is her third visit, and we have her proposal in place. So you saw her this week in the RIB, and you'll see her again next week. So welcome, Leanne.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to introduce my best buddy and future outbound youth exchange student. This is my son, Sebastian. He is here for pictures of the moon and mostly the mac and cheese and the ice cream.
Nice. Welcome to you all. Thank you.
Thank you to all, and if we missed anyone, please raise your hand, but come again. Thank you.
Okay, Rob Anderson, are you here? No, so we won't introduce him as a new member today. We'll do that next meeting or the meeting after. Couple of announcements. Our 7th annual Wine into Water fundraiser will occur on Saturday, August the 24th at 5 p.m. And this year it's going to be held at the home of Scott and Anne Marie Reeder. And if you are interested in tickets, you should contact Anne Marie at amreader@live.com. The tickets are $60 each, and the limit for the event is 80 persons. And this is also, information on this is also in the RIB. I was going to say cyber RIB, but you date yourself when you say cyber RIB in this club, because it means you remember when we just had a paper one. I have a shout out for Kitty DeKeefer, Jerry Mock, and Marty Evans. And the reason I do is because the Centennial Gala report was submitted about 10 days ago. And it showed a total revenue, ticket sales, and a few donations of $24,530. It gets better. Our expenses were $24,019. So we actually made about $510, $511 on the event, and we weren't supposed to. There was no plan to make any money on this event. In fact, the board of directors of the club allocated $5,000 to cover what was an anticipated shortfall in terms of revenue and expenses, because it was just supposed to be fun. We were going to spend what it takes to have fun. We had a lot of fun, and when we got this financial news, I had to acknowledge the 3 co-chairs again. So thank you. Next, we have a couple of members who are transitioning from red badge to blue badge today. Gary Kahn sponsored both of them, and they are Fred Bratman and Randy Butler. Would you please come up?
Who's first? Randy.
Fred's first.
Fred's first.
We're going alphabetical. Fred's first.
Okay. Well, it's indeed my pleasure to welcome Fred as a Blue Badger into the club. And just as a reminder, Fred has spent more than 3 decades of his professional communications with a specialization in message development. After his rather remarkable academic preparation, including a master's in journalism at Columbia and work at London School of Economics and Fred went to work as a journalist at Time Life, McGraw-Hill, and Dow Jones. And then he had work in New York Times and the Time Magazine, Spectator of London. And he's also written several nonfiction books for the young adult readers, as well as compiling for this audience a reader's companion. He also has had experience leading communications for a large philanthropic organization, the UJA Federation of New York. And then Fred actually shifted from journalism to focus on financial communications, working at first with several large Wall Street financial institutions, and then in 2007 he joined the United Rentals, which is a large equipment rental company that he retired from as a senior vice president in 2016. During his first 6 months as a Boulder Rotarian, he's been not only a regular attendee at Red Badges and our general meetings, but he's also joined the program committee and the membership committee. And he occasionally even is a participant on our Tuesday morning hiking group. So Fred tells me he's looking forward to becoming even more involved in the months and years ahead. So please welcome Fred Ratman. Yeah, he says he thought he was hoping for an Eagle Scout merit badge, but Fred, thank you. Then our next transition person is Randy Butler. And everybody probably has met Randy also by this point in time, hopefully. If not, I encourage you to do so. Randy is his professional work as a I guess he's a recovering attorney, but he's involved now in helping individuals, businesses, and governments resolve disputes by mediation. He designs and facilitates dialogue and civil engagement processes to build understanding and collaboration across the deep ethnic, political, and social divides. And he trains activists and political leaders in transformative leadership for building a sustainable peace. In fact, his work now includes something called the Connecting Communities Project, which brings people together across the large divides, political and otherwise, in our country. In fact, he also does reconciliation and transformational leadership work, and he has done this in the Balkans and among activists and leaders in Sudanese and South Sudan diaspora and government, which makes it pretty coincidental that we have a gentleman visiting today from South Sudan who's been a part of that diaspora. He is a CEO for the Institute of Sustainable Peace, an executive producer and host of a podcast called the Peacemakers Podcast, which I think is done out of E-Town, right? Yeah. So during his first 6 months, Randy has already become the first co-chair and is now the chair of our relatively new Peace Builders Committee. And in addition to that, he is serving on the district's 5450 Peace and Conflict Resolution Committee, and has been a very active member on our Centennial Project's International Peace Garden Enhancement Committee. So Randy came to Boulder in 2016. He was following a daughter and her growing family that moved here. But they've since been joined here from France by his oldest daughter and her family. So with the birth of 2 grandchildren in the past 4 months, He now has 7 grandkids within a 12-minute ride of his house. So please welcome Randy.
And Gary, I have to acknowledge you. I only have 1 gold star today, so you get 1 gold star, and you get this IOU for the 2nd gold star. All right, thank you. Okay, we have an award presentation today, and it is by no means a leftover award presentation from last week, because it's our Service Above Self Award. It's awarded to a Rotarian who was instrumental in implementing a significant project that improved the quality of life on 1 or more individuals or a community as a whole. This year's winner of the Service Above Self Award is 17 years a Rotarian, 2 of them with our club, enthusiastic participant in all BRC service projects, elected to the 2019-2020 Club Board of Directors, and a successful chair of the World Community Service Committee, Alessandro Sachs. And this is, yes, well deserved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Alessandro. Oh, photographs. Here. You hold this over your head. Service. Okay, I won't do that. It might not be good optics. All right. Yep. Okay, raffle time. The winning ticket number 2252474. Atta boy, Bill Anderson. All right. George, that was impressive with the flashlight there on the iPhone.
I learned that from space.
So, Dr. George Russell, do we have some birthdays to
We do have some
recognize today?
birthdays. We have a birthday guy here today who has been in the club since 1976 and has never sat at the birthday table. That is the truth. Is it fair? No, it's not fair because his birthday is on the December 26th. So would it be beneficial for him to sit at the table for everyone? Yes. Here is Ken Dubach. He joined the club in 1976. Retired radiologist. Say some words.
Now that 90 is just ahead of me, I'm the only person in this club who's seen monkeys, Abel and Baker, which precedes all of this fancy stuff, with a little thermocouple right in front of its mouth to make a little blip when it exhaled. And that was back in the days of Ashton Grabiel, who one of the finest doctors I've ever met. And he wrote quite a bit of Paul Dudley White's book on hearts, for those of you who still have Paul Dudley White stamps. Anyway, great presentation. I just loved it.
Our next birthday boy is Bill Meyer, who has been the past president.
Oh, I want to tie a little bit together today. Shortly after I joined this club, my first granddaughter was born. Her name's Michaela. Michaela's visited this club a few times. She's worked on a lot of projects. She got a Rotary Scholarship when she graduated from Centaurus a couple years ago, not from this club, but from another club. About 2 years ago, Mike Simpson, Michaela, and I had lunch. And Mike, as you can imagine, regaled her with all sorts of stories. Michaela graduated from college this spring. This week, she's in Houston. She's in charge of a team designing the docking system for the Orion spacecraft, which is a replacement for Apollo that will first go to the moon and ultimately to Mars. So if you sit at the birthday table, or if you're asked to mentor someone, think about it. It does make a difference, and this club's made a difference. Thanks.
Gordon Gamm.
In my last birthday, I just turned 80, and my best advice was from a birthday card that I got from a friend that said, "You're only as old as you feel, and so you shouldn't be feeling a lot of old people." Anyway, I gave this Gammondsburg address to some friends of mine, and it goes, 80 and no years ago, my forefather and foremother gave forth a new baby, conceived in birth and dedicated to the proposition that I should be happy and fulfilling life. And now, 80 years later, I can say that I'm living a happy and fulfilling life, and especially because of my participation in this wonderful club and its inspiration that it's given me. And so for that, I'm very thankful.
So this is the birthday table up here. It's the best place to sit in Boulder Rotary on a Friday afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Happy birthday. Okay, now it's time for PowerPoint.
Hello, Rotarians and guests, and welcome to the new Rotary year. Rotary connects the world. Did you know that the first man on the moon was also the first Rotarian on the moon?
That's a cool factoid, Sal. Thank you, Mike. All hail Mike. Well, if you missed last week's induction, you missed a lot. After the boys got organized, it was a smooth show with incredible awards to incredible Rotarians from our club. All award information is in the rib in complete detail. There was a peaceful and bloodless transition of power, and then President John took the stage for his year. All hail John! All hail John! All hail John!
That boy's good.
A big thank you to all the Rotarians who participated in Crayons to Calculators, and thank you, Larry Johnson, for getting us organized.
And we had tacos and had a great time at the happy hour, which was July 9th at the Rio Grande restaurant.
Get out your calendars because it's time to save the date for the 7th annual Turning Wine into Water event on Saturday, August 24th at 5 p.m. at the beautiful home of Anne Marie and Scott Reeder, back in the mountains of North Boulder. If you'd like to attend, please email Anne Marie for tickets.
And for the past 23 years, the Boulder Chamber of Business Women's Leadership Group has honored women who have made significant contributions through innovations and a committed effort to address a meaningful business, nonprofit, arts, or a community need. The 2019 Women Who Light the Community honorees were announced to include Frances Draper, Boulder Rotary Club member and Vice Chancellor for Strategic Relations and Communications at the University of Colorado Boulder. Congratulations to you, Frances.
Next week's program is Leslie Glustrom and Amy Oliver Cook, and they will be talking about microgrids and opening energy markets to innovation.
Don't miss it. Having an enjoyable Apollo 11 anniversary, everybody. Say it with us now. Have a great weekend.
Wow, Daryl and Sally, I love having you as my PowerPoint Rangers. So, before we adjourn, I want to give thanks to some people who helped make this meeting go more smoothly for me. Past President Greeter, Darla Sheath. Red Badge Greeter, Fred Bratman. Member and guest registration, Jean Lindekey, Gloria Thrall, Judy Pitt, Vanessa Mead. Scholarship Raffle Wonder Woman, Nancy Chin Wagner. Audiovisual, Fred Hull, Lynn Johnson, and Bob Taylor. Thanks for being here this week. Meeting adjourned.